What's a red flag when looking for a job? Please smash the like button to support the channel. If the job description has about 20 items of which one is sales, your job is going to be sales. A bit like occasional weekend means occasional weekend off. Similarly, other duties as needed can translate to sales. Happened to me in a job that I was doing digital marketing for. They wanted me to do sales related tasks as well. I said that's not my job. They pointed out that line in my job description and said I need to improve my attitude and do it, or give them notice of my departure. I told them thanks, I'll be gone in 30 days, and mentioned if they want sales to be done, then hire someone for the role. That is not what I signed up for, nor want to do. They were surprised, and within a month after I left, they hired a director of sales. They didn't have one previously. Earning potential is stress over current salary. In 5 years you can be making X. Cool, add that to my offer as guaranteed and we have a deal. Well, it's not guaranteed. Oh gotcha. So what you're saying is that statement holds no value. I applied to a place where they were offering me 30% less than what I was currently making. They said, that's because you'll be making that up in your performance bonus plus more. Hard pass from me on that one. Such a slap in the face of an offer. Master's degree preferred for an entry-level job. That's generous compared to the listings I've seen. Normally they go like this. R&D chemical engineer needed. Must have at least 5 years experience in developing industrial production processes. Master's degree required. Part-time, 39 hours a week. Pay $10.50 an hour. Must be hired through a temp agency so we don't have to commit to you. Making jokes about overtime and crunch time. Guaranteed it's going to be a nights and weekends are optional, but not actually optional. Place. When I was a general manager for Chipotle, I would constantly work 12+ hour days. Salary. And one busy weekend. I worked 15 hours on Friday and 15 on Saturday and on Sunday. I decided to go to the gas station and eat my donuts in my car, and just listen to the radio for like 10 extra minutes to just kind of unwind. You better believe the area manager was there the next day with a write-up in hand, because I was 10 minutes late on Sunday. But when I asked what about the other 10 extra hours I put into my store the previous days, that's just part of the job description. Initially unpaid, but will result in full-time offer upon completion of XYZ. This will be an excellent chance to expand your portfolio and gain lots of exposure with leading global brands. Graphic designer here. My favorite response to this: you can die from exposure. We work hard and play hard. It actually means all work and for sure no play. Translation: you will work 60+ hours a week and are expected to come to the company happy hour, whether you drink or not. Hiring lots of people on the same position. Everyone who calls gets a job often means the job is either bullsh or they are setting you all up to compete for the actual job. I had this once. Turned out it was commission only. Door-to-door vacuum sales. I did that for a month. My breaking point was when I was told I couldn't carry any water with me in what is essentially desert climate in middle of summer. Was told to request a glass of water from random strangers. Same if I needed to use the bathroom. I wound up so parched, I was risking real dehydration, and the other salespeople had the nerve to drink all my water. Oh, and I sold a grand total of 3 vacuums. I actually has 5 sales, but I quit on a Friday, and by Monday they claimed my last 2 sales were cancelled, and I now owed them something like $150 for accessories. Convinced them to zero out my entire account and just close it. Edit. Since I have a lot of replies asking which vacuum, it was Kirby. When they talk previous employees, they're going to do it to you. Same goes for them insulting current employees behind their back. I saw that during my orientation. 2 supervisors were loudly talking about how useless an employee was after they got off the phone with him. Even if it's true, the fact that they don't care who hears them is a sign of a toxic work environment. Always ask them why the person they are replacing left the job. The way they answer this could be a red flag. We are a family here, which means this is how they try to make up for the shitty pay and long hours. I got a call from a Subway I applied to, telling me my interview was in 10 minutes. That was the first I heard from them after submitting my application. This was a red flag I had during an interview process once. I was doing a phone interview for an IT position, and the person I was interviewing with basically changed the details of the job during the interview. Instead of the first shift hours the position promised, he immediately went into saying it would be 6+ months before the opportunity for first shift would even be a possibility. Also, he was big into asking how dedicated I was to jobs. The idea of weekend shifts, again, not in the original description, kept coming up, and how everyone had to be a team player and help out on weekends when needed. The kicker was when he started talking about how many hours he worked. He was bragging that he was up at 6 AM every day working, then he'd go into the office for the day, come home to see his family for dinner, and get right back to work until 10 to 11 PM every night. I had never been turned off from a job faster in my life. He asked me to think things over and he'd send me some paperwork via email. Needless to say, I called him the next morning and declined the job. It was the worst interview process I'd ever been in. I had a manager who angrily demanded to know, what's more important, your family or your job? I looked him as if he had offered me a lightly grilled weasel on a bun, and answered, family, every single time. He had no words for that. I have his job now, and family still comes first. If you ask them what the pay is, and they start off with what you could be making after so much time, and they start rambling about the raise process, run the other way. Arrived for an interview not too long ago, showed up 15 minutes early and had all my certifications to prove training. Waited over 20 minutes before the secretary led me to a conference room. Waited another 40 minutes, and got fed up. Quality manager walked in as I was getting up to leave. He was very offended when I told him he had wasted my time, and I would never accept a position after being left to wait almost an hour while having an appointment. Any job that requires an upfront cost. This is a telltale sign that you are getting wrapped up into an MLM pyramid scheme. I worked at a 7-Eleven for all of a week once. I quit when the owner said he wouldn't give me my pay for my training week until I had been there for 6 months. And he had the audacity to sit there and threaten to call the police for stealing a uniform if I didn't return it or pay him back. Because obviously he can't dock wages he won't give me. I called the Department of Labor and his gas station got shut down. The only situation where I'd willingly pay for my uniforms is when I want extras.